你好，欢迎大家。
Hello, 万一 to home. Happy to serve you.
Can you extend the session?
Yes, we can.
Is extending the session legitimate?
It's legitimate. At 万一 to home, everything we do is above board.
Extending the session is a popular online term referring to the request by customers to extend the duration of their massage service beyond the initially agreed upon time. However, this term often serves as a euphemism for services that are seductive or could be an outright scam.
I achieved a lot on this business trip. I finally secured a project worth over $1 billion. My back and waist are aching, and being unfamiliar with the area, where do I find a massage parlor? I heard of the popular Fluorescence at Home offers home service. Let's order one. How did I get here so quickly?
你好，荧光到家，上门为您服务。
Hello, Fluorescence at Home at your service.
第一次把按摩师叫到车上来啊。
Driving all day has exhausted me. It's my first time calling a masseuse to the car for a massage.
Hello, I am WR, a therapist from eastern suburbs at home. Pleased to serve you.
Since last year, China has seen quite a rise in the home-based economy, with numerous adverts for home massage services appearing everywhere, from community bulletin boards to residential buildings, office complexes, elevators, and even on the walls of public restrooms. These advertisements feature attractive women with appealing figures and promises of 24-hour service on demand, sparking curiosity about the legitimacy of these mobile massage services. In March 2024, a Chinese journalist decided to do an investigation. He booked a service through an app named Autumn Fragrance at Home, choosing a massage price at 298 yuan. To his surprise, the so-called masseuse did not even know basic massage points, lacked professional certification, and had health certificates that were purchased. Her massage services can't possibly be legitimate or professional. During the massage, the masseuse offered him an extra care service for an additional 500 yuan. It's widely understood what this extra care implies. As a matter of fact, this kind of extending the session service is still not that bad. Some scams are so cunningly laid out that they catch you completely off guard, risking even your reputation and livelihood. A YouTuber known as Tao Da shared his direct experience with such services. His initial aim was to have an experience and evaluate the authenticity of an on-demand massage service. His other goal was to understand whether these services involve illicit activities, which could serve as material for his next video. This YouTuber noted that everything started off normally, with a female masseuse demonstrating professional skills and not hinting at any extra services throughout the massage. It was only at the end of the scheduled service that she asked for a positive review if he was satisfied with her service. At that moment, Tao Da thought he had been overly suspicious. However, he later realized that securing a positive review was a clever tactic to prevent any further complaints, regardless of the subsequent events. The real drama began afterward when the masseuse started suggesting a number of additional services. What became even more unsettling for Tao Da was when he spotted an unfamiliar man outside his door through the peephole. He remembered that in the last 30 minutes of her service, the masseuse occasionally stopped to send text messages, falsely claiming a friend needed her attention. When the blogger noticed a strange man appearing outside his door, he suddenly realized what was happening. This is a case of the fairy jump scam. What is a fairy jump? Simply put, it involves attractive women pretending to seduce men, leading them to a room. Then quickly, accomplices who have been waiting outside kick the door open at a crucial moment, claiming to be the woman's husband, boyfriend, brother, or father, etc. They catch the man red-handed and coerce him into signing for a large sum of money as compensation, threatening to expose the scandal if he does not comply. Many men have no choice but to comply for fear of a broken family and ruined reputation. Finally, the blogger Tao Da cautions everyone to be extremely careful with such doorstep massage services. Otherwise, a single massage session could potentially cost you everything you've worked hard for your entire life, your money, your house, and even your spouse and children. When Chinese media reporters asked about the massage apps promoting 24-hour services, the advertising company's staff said these ads follow the advertising law and have been reviewed and approved internally by their company. The Chi-Cha-Cha business information platform lists a company named Autumn Fragrance at Home in Chongqing, established on October 20th, 2021, offering wellness and health-related services and building cleaning among its business activities. A Chinese journalist responding to the recruitment ad conducted an undercover visit for an interview. The staff highlighted from the start that Autumn Fragrance at Home is a legitimate platform prohibiting masseuses from directly accepting money from clients. But if they want to earn extra, masseuses are encouraged to find ways to persuade clients to extend the session. When undercover journalists asked, "How can we encourage customers to extend their time?" the staff replied, "You'll be informed about that after you officially join us. It's part of our trade secrets." However, through indirect questioning, the journalists discovered the catch. By extending the session, masseuses could even offer explicit services directly. Thus, this type of borderline service, also known as home service, has been dubbed the adult industry. While some clients do seek these massage services hoping for an unexpected surprise, many are just looking for relaxation after a hard day's work. Sadly, they often spend money without finding the relaxation they seek, leading to even more stress. In China, a consumer complaint platform, Xiaofeibao, featured a complaint in August 2023, possibly illuminating how these home service schemes aim to maximize their economic benefit. A customer who had previously booked a massage service through the Eastern Suburbs at Home app wrote in a complaint, "The appointment was originally for 5:30 p.m., but the masseuse was 16 minutes late, and that's not the worst part. The service started at 6:37 p.m. and ended at 6:47 p.m., lasting only 10 minutes. Yet I was charged 737 yuan. It was supposed to be a 120-minute French-style spa session, but after arriving, she claimed she had to add time for another task and coerced me into extending the session with a 60-minute Chinese massage. However, just 5 minutes after extending, the session was abruptly ended. So what was meant to be a 180-minute service lasted only 10 minutes. Throughout the session, the masseuse did not follow the advertised procedures and constantly tried to entice me into illicit services, offering a major service for 3,000 yuan. I said it was too expensive and that I was not interested in such services. I was there for a massage. She then said if I wasn't satisfied with her, she had a younger and more attractive sister. After refusing the service, the customer filed a complaint that night, and the customer service of Eastern Suburbs at Home responded the next day by phone, stating they had verified with the masseuse that she had not offered illicit services and instead claimed it was a customer who led her on. Regarding the issue of a service supposed to last 180 minutes ending after just 10 minutes, the masseuse explained that she had clocked in upon arriving at the customer's home but forgot to start the timer. Is this explanation acceptable? On the third day, Eastern Suburbs at Home called the customer again, stating they could only refund the 218 yuan charged for extending the service. The customer, of course, did not accept this, questioning, "Why am I being charged for 180 minutes for a service that lasted only 10 minutes? However, Eastern Suburbs at Home ceased responding, prompting the customer to escalate the complaint to Consumer Protection, a platform claiming to advocate for Chinese consumers. However, it is seemingly just for show. The website displayed an automated response. "We regret to inform you that, despite our best efforts to follow up actively on your complaint, we had to automatically close it due to a lack of effective response from the company. You can still repost your complaint and provide us with more evidence and information so we can better assist you in resolving the issue." A complaint may be closed if the accused company does not respond. This raises questions about the effectiveness of the complaint website in resolving issues, suggesting that it may not fully meet the needs of individuals who submit complaints. On the bottom right of the website, numerous complaints about doorstep massage services can be seen. Most complaints revolve around unconscionable terms, services not rendered as promised, and difficulties in obtaining refunds. How many of these complaints are genuinely resolved remains a mystery. These problems have been widespread in China for a long time. The anti-corruption departments don't fight corruption, and the anti-fraud departments don't combat fraud. Instead, they focus on maintaining a facade. Otherwise, how could they deceive the public and the world? So, why has the adult industry suddenly become so popular in China over the last 2 years? Some say the flourishing of this industry indicates one of two scenarios. 1, the economy is thriving, or 2, the economy is not thriving. The former is due to prosperity leading to indulgence, while the latter involves some Chinese people who, having lost their faith, resort to desperate choices to make money.
Hey boss.
All full, all full.
Hey boss.
I gotta go. In a street in China, a car drove for less than a minute before several women dressed provocatively approached it to say hello. The camera captured a line of doors along the street, each with a young woman in suggestive attire standing in the doorway. This scene has become a distinctive scene in the adult industry in China. In recent years, China has experienced a wave after wave of layoffs. Even state-owned enterprises, which are traditionally seen as offering lifetime employment, are also experiencing waves of layoffs. Getting into these SOEs has always been perceived as challenging for an average person, requiring at least a master's degree, with bachelor's degree holders often deemed insufficient. However, high qualifications and strong professional abilities are no match for the steep economic downturn China is facing. Recently, reports of layoffs within SOEs have circulated widely across the Chinese internet. According to sources, these enterprises began laying off employees last year at a rate of 5%, with this year seeing cuts of 10%. With such speed, employee layover rates might reach 20% or 30% in the coming year. Against the backdrop of the prevailing economic conditions in China, even these projections may be viewed as relatively optimistic. Recent discussions have emerged on mainland Chinese social media, posing the question, why would you prefer a 30% pay cut or a 50% staff reduction at your company? This has sparked public attention. A Jiangsu-based social media personality stated on March 29th that a friend working in a state-owned company in Nanjing has already experienced a pay cut. In 2007, this friend of his was earning 5,000 to 6,000 yuan a month, a substantial amount compared to his own factory wage of just over 1,000 yuan, which has even made him quite jealous. However, his friend recently came to visit him in Huzhou, lamenting that their workplace hasn't seen a wage increase in years and that his income has decreased since last year. He mentioned, state-owned companies no longer offer the good benefits they used to, mainly due to the company's diminishing profitability. Someone from Tianjin shared that she and her spouse once naively believed layoffs were impossible in state-owned enterprises. Her husband was thrilled to join an SOE in 2014, thinking he had secured a stable job until retirement, never having to fear unemployment. However, he was unexpectedly laid off at the end of last year. Another Jiangsu social media personality named Pancake Kong from northeastern China, who had worked in a large state-owned enterprise with nearly 10,000 employees for over 8 years, was also laid off last October. He recounted being enticed by his superiors with a promotion to team leader without a pay raise, and he was told to wait until the company became profitable again. He realized that this promise was just another pancake in the sky and promptly refused. Pancake Kong said, "No matter how outstanding you are, no matter how high your education level is, if you don't have strong connections, they can fire you without negotiation. My connections aren't strong and I don't know how to flatter the leaders, so I got laid off." After being laid off, he struggled to find work, not daring to tell his family back in northeastern China about his joblessness and relying on savings to get by. He recently opened a pancake shop to make ends meet, but admitted, "It's exhausting in a way you can't imagine." He advises those with jobs against considering starting their own business. A 32-year-old woman from Qingdao who spent 8 years as an office director at a state-owned company and considered herself too experienced to be laid off, was unexpectedly dismissed last October. Lacking other job skills, she struggled to find a new position despite multiple interviews and ultimately accepted a part-time role at a fried chicken restaurant. In China's bureaucratic system, it's an unwritten rule that the salaries of civil servants, particularly those in departments responsible for public security and maintaining order, must be protected even when it's at the expense of salary reductions in the private sector. This protection is crucial because the CCP depends on these individuals to crack down on dissidents and keep its grip on power. In recent years, China's economy has suffered severely, with state coffers depleted either by corrupt officials pocketing funds or through sheer lack of revenue. Consequently, salary reductions and layoffs have become the CCP's last resort in a desperate attempt to manage the economic downturn. The salary cuts for civil servants signify that China's economy is at a dire crossroad. The severe impact of these reductions on public sector workers has been covered in detail in our other video segments. Unemployment significantly affects most young people, transitioning from being supported by their parents during their studies to facing the harsh reality of graduating into unemployment. Without a job, savings, or the prospect of relying on their parents, the youth are left wondering how to afford rent and meals.
突然的我就失业了，姐妹们，你们说我该怎么办？
Suddenly, I found myself out of a job. What should I do now, guys? We were given a holiday from January, extending through the new year in February, and by March, the boss hadn't called us back to work. With 2 lovely children to care for and daily expenses to meet, I couldn't help but call my boss to ask when I could return to work, only to be told that there was no longer any business. Just like that, I was unexpectedly out of a job. My husband is also unemployed and facing the monthly insurance payments, household expenses, and the cost of feeding the children. I truly can't sleep at night. Guys, what do you think I should do?
This woman's story is not unique, as many young people find themselves jobless at the blink of an eye. In pursuit of quick money, some enter the adult industry, while others, driven to desperation, reluctantly join industries they themselves disdain. The surge in unemployment has led to the booming home service industry, exacerbating the moral and ethical decline in China and pushing the country further into an irreversible downfall.